They were living right on the edge of the forest. Consequently, their produce was under constant attack from wild animals, wild boar in particular. Jim helped the villagers to build a stone wall around the perimeter of the fields, nearly 3 meters high and over 8.5 kilometers long. It took 10 years to build. Corbett presented a gun to the headman of the village, Sher Singh, for protection against dangerous animals. Today, Sher Singh's son, Tiruk Singh, still maintains this precious gift in working order. Jim also built a chowpal so that the villagers would have a place to gather. By 1917, the great looked into his house at two. On the pilgrimage route to Hindu shrines, for 8 years, a man-eating leopard had been active in the area, killing 120, living under the shadow of a skillfully avoiding with a constant fear of it up against his tough. After months, Jim was exhausted. The 1920 was tethered an end to 8 long to Jim's contribution in eliminating man-eaters, and he was awarded the Kesari Gold Medal in 1928. Jim Corbett and others persuaded Sir Malcolm Higgy to declare a sanctuary in the Ramganga River Valley, an area of 500 square kilometers. With the United Provinces National Parks Act of 1935, India gained her first national park. It was named Haley National Park after its founder. Frederick Walter Champion was appointed Deputy Conservator of Forests for the Kalagar Division in the Shivalik foothills. He and his family felt completely at home in these Tarai forests. Champion was a passionate conservationist long before the idea that wildlife might need protection had occurred to most people. As a forest officer, he strongly criticized the sport hunting of wild animals and worked to limit the number of gun licenses issued. Fascinated by the rich fauna and flora, Champion took to wildlife photography, not merely for his own pleasure, but as a means to communicate the immense beauty of these wild places to a largely ignorant public. He recognized the fact that it was possible to identify individual tigers by their unique patterns of stripes. This practice is still widely used today. He released 2 books full of remarkable wildlife photographs. In the 1920s, he pioneered the use of tripwires to trigger his camera, and with flashlight, he obtained remarkably good photographs of big cats on the prowl at night, probably the first ever published. The exciting photographs in Champion's book inspired Corbett to try to film tigers with his new Bell & Howell 16mm cine camera. In the winter of 1938, Jim chose a site on the Boar River close to his home, which he called his jungle studio. Jim noticed that the tigers were disturbed by the noisy whir of the camera. By diverting a small stream, he masked the noise of the camera with the sound of driving nature. Filming tigers in daylight without being noticed was a great challenge. 4 months of hard work and countless hours of waiting were at last rewarded with this unique footage of 7 tigers, including a rare white tigers. Jim showed his films at schools in Nainital and also during a visit to To add sound effects to his silent films, Jim would mimic the alarm calls of deer and langurs and even the roar of tigers. In this way, he tried to make people more aware of nature and the need to protect it. Jim was passionate about tigers. He wrote, "A tiger is a large-hearted gentleman with boundless courage. And when he is exterminated, as exterminated he will be, unless public opinion rallies to his support. India will be the poorer for having lost the finest of our fathers." Jim Corbett, famous as a fearless slayer of man-eaters, was becoming well known in influential circles as a hunter turned conservationist. The Marquis of Linlithgow was appointed Viceroy and Governor General of India in 1936. A keen angler and hunter, he had read Jim Corbett's jungle stories. Jim accompanied Lord and Lady Linlithgow to Takala for fly fishing on the Ramganga River, where they enjoyed feeding the working elephant. Corbett's and Linlithgows soon developed a long-lasting friendship. They encouraged Jim to continue to write, which eventually would lead him to become a renowned author. The Viceroy came to Kaladuni for tiger hunts for 3 years in succession and asked Jim to make all the arrangements. The extraordinary scale of these hunts required months of preparation. Camps were established, staff briefed, bait animals tied in forest clearings, and tigers regularly tracked, all to ensure a successful hunt by the Viceroy, the most senior representative of the king. No less than 16 elephants were on parade for the Shikar of September 1937. Some hunters preferred to ride in a howdah from which they could stand and fire. Five tigers were bagged in the first year, 4 in the second, but none in the last. Conservationists have criticized Jim Corbett for his involvement in these extravagant shikars. In 1942, he was awarded the OBE, the Order of the British Empire. But in spite of all this recognition, Jim remained reserved and modest. Jim was deeply concerned about the growing independence movement in India. He knew that the days of the British Raj were numbered. India became independent on the 15th of August 1947. Uncertain of their future in India, Jim and Maggie decided to move to Kenya, still a British colony. Before leaving for Africa, Jim signed over the ownership of his land in Choti Haldwani to his tenants. It is said that he continued to pay their taxes for the rest of his life. Jim sold his house in Kaladungi to his friend Chiranji Lal, who in 1965 bequeathed it to the Forest Department as a museum. Today, hundreds of visitors on their way to Nainital stop here to learn about the life of its remarkable former owner, Jim Corbett, hunter, naturalist, and writer. Following independence, the name of the park was changed from the Haiti to the Ramganga National Park in celebration of its beautiful river. In 1957, 2 years after Jim died at his home in Kenya, the park was once again renamed Jim Corbett National Park. The Ramganga Valley runs from east to west between thickly forested ridges through the middle of Corbett. There are many distinct habitats: wet and dry, gentle and rugged, forest and grassland, home to over 160 species of trees and shrubs and more than 30 kinds of bamboo and grasses. In the 60s, a hydroelectric dam was constructed on the Ramganga River at Kalaka. The huge man-made lake flooded 80 square kilometers of the park's precious forest and grassland. Once widespread, the hog deer population is now restricted to isolated pockets of grassland. The endangered gharials lost their main breeding areas, but the more common mugger crocodiles flourished. The large lake has been a boon for smaller aquatic life. There has been a huge increase in the numbers of water birds. The unpolluted, life-giving waters of the Ramganga provide good hunting for this group of smooth-coated otters. Initially covering an area of just 324 square kilometers, by 1966, Corbett extended to 521. With the addition of the neighboring Sonu Nadi Wildlife Sanctuary and Reserve Forests, it now extends to 1,318 square kilometers. By the late 1960s, the Indian tiger was heading for extinction. Less than 2,000 struggled for survival across the country. The government banned the hunting of tigers in 1970, and Corbett National Park was chosen as the venue for the launch of the world's most ambitious conservation program, Project Tiger. Project Tiger has been a success at Corbett National Park. The population increased from just 40 tigers in 1972 to 225 in 2010. However, the threat from poachers remains. To see a tiger, one always needs a bit of luck. It is simply a matter of being in the right place at the right time. Tigers are prolific breeders, but mating is not often seen. This was the first photographic record of tigers mating in Corbett. The pair remained together for a few days and mated frequently. Then they both resumed their solitary lives. Lying in the foothills of the Himalayas, with its rich mix of habitats, Corbett National Park has an exceptionally rich avian fauna with over 580 species recorded. Paradise for bird watchers. Serpent eagle, booted eagle, Shukran, Khalid pheasant, golden-fronted leaf bird, Asian paradise flycatcher, streak-throated woodpecker,
Hello,
plum-headed parrot.
hello, hello.
Wildlife filmmakers Naresh and Rajesh Bedi love Corbett National Park and have been visiting it ever since they were children. Today, the Bedi brothers are on the lookout for the flaying tigers, whose pockmarks have been seen along with their tiny footprints. But no one has yet seen cubs.
नीली बोल रहा था
The tigress threatens the intruders. Reassured, she moves on, but it seems these very young cubs have never seen humans before. What a lucky encounter for the Beatty brothers. While this is a happy sight, protecting tigers across such a vast area is a tough challenge for the forest rangers. We should be eternally grateful for the far-sighted actions of Sir Malcolm Healy, Jim Corbett, F.W. Champion, and other like-minded conservationists who saved this paradise of nature for us all. Today, the varied landscapes of Corbett have emerged as one of the principal strongholds for tigers in India, giving hope for the long-term survival. We must safeguard Corbett's place. The land where tigers roar and elephants trumpet must never fall silent.